Okay.
Guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren. Ich begrüße Sie ganz herzlich zum Pressegespräch über Infernal Comedy. Ich begrüße hier an meiner Seite Marianne, eine der Sängerinnen, der wunderbaren Sängerinnen des Abends, JOHN MALKOVICH, Michael Sturminger, den Regisseur, dann Louise Fribourg, die andere wunderbare Sängerin, und dann Martin Hasenberg, der Chefdirigent der Wiener Akademie, der jetzt, glaube ich, das Festival gegründet hat. Und na genau, jetzt sind wir zusammen und wir können das Gespräch zum Teil in deutscher Sprache führen, natürlich dann mit John in englischer Sprache, wie Sie das wollen. Ich weiß nicht, wer von Ihnen beginnt. Vielleicht kann Michael Sturminger ein paar Worte über diese besondere Form des Melodramas erzählen, also eigentlich eine Form, die es eigentlich gar nicht mehr gibt, die sozusagen für diesen Abend wieder ausgegraben wurde und die, glaube ich, ganz schön funktioniert.
Well, my memory of how it happened is slightly different than everyone else at the stage. Birgit introduced Martin and I, and Martin called me, I think the next morning, and said, we have to work together. And I said, yeah, sure, great, what do you want to do? And he sent me the libretto for Gluck's Don Juan's Descent into Hell. And I listened to it. He sent me a CD also. And I read the libretto, which I thought was not performable, really. But I said to Martin, listen, let's try and kind of coordinate our schedules. And Martin was first in Paris. Yeah, and then he came to Paris where I was directing a play. And we sat down and said, kind of the first meeting, we could do this, we could do that. The very first meeting we settled on a story which would have perhaps had to do, it actually ended up being about the Mann brothers, but the idea had been all the Austrian and German emigres to Los Angeles in the 30s. And then we didn't end up liking that script so much either. Then we had another conversation, talked about several other things, and then the idea, I said, but Martin, you know, if you want to do an opera and you'd like people to come to the opera, then we should do an opera about Jack Unterweger, because that's a kind of no-brainer. It's so clear. Why was I interested? Well, I knew about Unterweger from many years ago. I looked at doing a film about him, and he was a kind of both more and less interesting version of a story we had in America. A writer called Jack Henry Abbott, who spent his life in prison. Slight difference between he and Unterweger is he wrote one novel, Jack Henry Abbott, a masterpiece. Unterweger was never really much of a writer. Jack Henry Abbott also had a kind of celebrity group behind his release. He didn't quite make it one evening before he murdered someone his first night out of prison. Unterweger made it out of prison quite a while. Of course, he never really left prison, one could say also. But to me, the interest of the Unterweger story is the notion of redemption. Obviously a critical notion in our societies, but one that is in constant flux and in constant need of defining. Because Unterweger was paroled, there are 11 women at least dead. Because society was, for their own reasons, needed to be convinced that he was a reformed man. Society has 11 deaths on their hands that belong to them. Now, of course, in the end, they belong to Unterweger and Unterweger only. But that idea, that notion of redemption, and what it means and when is it, is a critical notion in our societies. So that's what appealed to me about the Unterweger story, is trying to work in this form with this music that is just of overwhelming power, just a staggering power, and to try and move through that and go under it and move around it and step off it, has really been a fantastic education and opportunity.
Is it not difficult to friendly and is it difficult to
sometimes it kills.
No, I don't think of acting that way. I'm not involved, meaning my work goes through me.
Okay.
It doesn't really involve me.
Okay. So
I don't even think about it, I just do it.
Okay.